evening. Hi. I owe a real debt to Jay and Hazel for the care and conscientiousness with which they created this book with me. And by created, I mean they really did wait. And so much of publishing, so much of the act of being publishers is just waiting for the book to become what it is. So I owe a great debt to both of you. Thank you, and your entire crew. And I owe all of you for being here. Thank you for being my witnesses. Kith is a book about how global trade across sea and air, including the global trade in human life, creates identities on the ground, on the land. I thought it would be appropriate to, at the launch of this book, read the last poem of the book. And this poem describes Walt Whitman's soul. During the years Walt Whitman was writing The Leaves of Grass and fantasizing about the disappearance of Black life in the way of the indigenous life in the United States, he emerged as one of the more beloved apologists for colonialism. In one episode of the book, titled Passage to India, he praises the opening of the Suez Canal and what it does to really open up India for all of you, all of us, really. And in this poem, W is for Walt Whitman's soul, I imagine the man fantasizing about that trade route while the British East India Company took from us everything we could not protect. The poem is a prose poem. It's about 1.5 pages long. It's 3 sentences. It lasts about 3 minutes. And it contains 50 objects, products and objects, that the British took from India and we could not protect. If you guess all 50, I think you get a copy of the book free. And there's an epigraph from William Dalrymple. One of the very first Indian words to enter the English language was the Hindustani slang for plunder, which is loot. Thank you. W is for Walt Whitman's soul. It sits with a fork made from a lotus on an ivory chair, eating an elephant steak in the company of bears and feral notch girls on a monsoon evening, incandescent with an appetite as mighty as railroads spanned across seas, and reclines, its cheeks burnished, its ass varnished by suns setting on bronze and sugared with saltpeter, its torso a tableau for the annals of rectitude, the theater for roiling or robust passage, a veritable Suez Canal towards missionary victories which thrust from such bejeweled and oiled loins anointed by coin, that emission of plump lumps into the Ganges, that coiling coy virgin maiden winding her languid locks, batting her lashes to its lashes, its spine a gentle wire. Supine, its belly swells with salt and figs, with meat and treaties. It corks open a profound song. Itself it sings into books heavy with truths on the chair, dressed with leather and rawhides, kissed by oxblood, smeared with beef dung, lined with raw silk, woven from worms, plucked from boughs, basted across its pious, beaming eyes, its spidery ghosted lids, and its Byzantine glance unmoors from its Chinese porcelain and crosses the ebony table, polished with lac secreted from the cloaca of the Kerialaka, set from the glazed cakes eaten by pinked mouths wearing crimson robes, to its guests polished and glossed and stained by the ooze drawn from the color to color the uncolored raw linen, the wood, the human. Then, its wrist cuffed by gold and cowries, studded with coral, draws a whisper-thin muslin veil dyed carmine, suckled from crushed scale of cochineal, boiled in ammonia, and bled into curds and rouge glinting sanguineous and turbid, between bug and rug, snug, a thug in a redcoat or a turncoat, carrying urns of the stuff from estates of cocoa, coconut, calico across its face, while soft eclairs of chocolate bumble out from its plumed rump, choked with gum and linseed, flax and cassia, cinnamon and pepper, like so many lines of blood underwriting the mutton and not the goat, so it can sell them with the name of a place, like scarves, or garlanded whores moored to wharves, suckled by mother of pearl, or teas named after earls, and they with whole scores to settle for homemade cures, nettles, ginger, turmeric, a paste or to taste, and it steals and seals in letters scented with sandal, sent abroad, waxed and pressed with cornelian gems, honed from ground it owns, and makes stone from their flesh, ekes ink from their sweat, soaks indigo in lye fermented with time, and makes color so it can bid for its own passage, the passage, oh, of this soul to India. Thank you.